Hello friends, and welcome back to Dishonored 2, You Only Live Once. In the last episode, we ventured into the home of Miss Stilton and traveled back in time 3 years to the night when Delilah's co-conspirators did some void voodoo here to bring her back to life. Void voodoo? Voidoo? Never mind. Unfortunately, Stilton's home is not only falling apart, it's a cursed place where the void is blending the two timelines, disabling all of our powers. On the plus side, the Outsider gave us a really cool gadget that lets us travel between the two timelines, as well as peek into what's happening in one while we're in the other. And when we left off, I just ventured into Stilton's backyard here to take care of business, but I'm glad I stopped there. We cleared out just about everything in the ruin present, but I'd forgotten about a really cool little secret that I wanted to show off while it still exists. Before I do that though, I want to use up a sleep dart, so let's see if any of the guards are in a good position. Not so much at the moment. Lucky, I can get this guy on his way back. Nobody will be any the wiser. I want to avoid using the timepiece lens because this is one of those places where there actually can be some chunking from it. Come on, buddy. There we go. He's coming back.
Think you're smart? I'll find you.
That has alerted someone else as well. That's okay. Let's see if he comes looking back here. Getting perilously close to alerting some of these dogs in the present here. And that has stirred up the hornet's nest, has it not? Apparently we have triggered the 3rd annual Karnaca marathon.
The Grand Guard was protecting Stilton back then.
Okay, so she's going to see his body in a moment. Get her attention in that direction. It's going to give me a sec. Sleep dart her. Actually hit his gun. I've seen that happen before. It's interesting that that's actually modeled. But okay. I think that about sorts all of them out. We'll leave everything else alone for now and head back inside for that secret that I mentioned. Okay. And the path should still be quite safe at this time. Actually, there was one other reason I wanted to come back here. Let's transition back into the ruined present here. Paul, this nest keeper, had a sleep dart, did he not? Did. Excellent. Get that will exist as well. But okay, that secret I was talking about. I'm going to bet that most players don't actually know this spot is here. I sure didn't for a very long time. And out of all the Let's Plays I've watched, I've only seen a few find it. There's not a lot in here, but several other notes and books in the mission talk about Stilton's faithful servant Jamie, who was injured in the mines and given a job by Stilton, and in the ruined present, it looks like this was his final resting place. Hitbox is being a little odd. Come on. Let me get the coin. There we go. Here's that letter from Jamie. Very sad that. See what we can do about it. There's much else in here. Yeah, just some coins and a crossbow bolt. And we'll do a little bit of transition magic to bounce back and forth and get out of here. And we are done. Now, we are ready to deal with Stilton. Now, usually, I have a careful, methodical way for taking out these guards and clearing this area. But due to my hasty sleep dart at the beginning, pulling most of them, this area is not in the state that I would normally expect it to be. I think there's only one guard left, and he's up there on the balcony, but I want to take it carefully. We're so close, and I'm not sure. So, first of all, make sure that I can safely traverse the present. There are a couple dogs in this area. Fortunately, they're not a significant threat. As long as you see them before they see you. And again, I sincerely apologize to the dog lovers out there. Like I said, I'm a cat lover and I get it. When playing Stalker Anomaly, I actually had a really hard time at first with the mutated felines there, because they look way too much like house cats in the thumbnail when you loot them. Okay. That is all of the threats. The only other thing we would have to deal with are blood flies, and I think we can avoid most of those. Can't recall. I think there is some blood amber in at least one of these nests. Yes, 2 of them, actually. Good. Glad I checked. Okay, yeah, good. Looks like he was not alerted. He's still in his idle animation. Now, this guy's a bit of a troll. If you look, he's sitting there rooting under the couch for something, probably looking for loose change. The very second that we go into his timeline near him, and thereby trigger him, he's going to stand up and turn around. There's no chance, pretty much, to actually get him in a choke there. So what we're going to do is transition, and then back. Yeah, look at you, little troll. I got your number. Oh, let's see. So we got a pouch there. Handful of coins. All right, now let's get a good look at the layout here. Where's Stilton? He's supposed to be right there. Oh, shit. We've got serious problems if he has despawned. Oh, shit. Okay. Hoping he just tucked himself away in a corner somewhere to hide. Oh, good, good, good.
Talk of the void, such rubbish.
Is he, anyway?
One day, young Luca will go too far. May I live to see that day. Theo, forgive me.
Tucked there in the corner? Find out. Oh, yeah, he is.
Why are you in my house?
Now, Stilton is clearly sane now, but we know that he lost his mind at some point tonight.
This is to keep you from seeing whatever drove you into a nightmare tonight. What effect is knocking Stilton unconscious going to have on the present?
The outsider all but said outright that it was his presence at Delilah's wrist jewel that cost him his sanity.
There's the notebook.
Yeah, but we don't really need it now. I'll show you why. We just knocked Stilton out, and that action has consequences. You might have noticed that I keep referring to the other timeline as the ruined present, and that a few minutes ago I mentioned wanting to get loot there while it still exists. Well, there's a reason for that. But if you only play in high chaos or just stick to the mission objectives and avoided touching Stilton, you might not have seen it before. Up until now, for the most part, each timeline has had its own role. The past is dangerous and full of enemies, while the present is mostly devoid of threats and used primarily to safely traverse the map without being detected. With all enemies in the past now defeated and Stilton unconscious, we've just inverted that dynamic. Our actions have drastically changed the future timeline, causing Stilton to miss Delilah's ritual. He doesn't participate in the ritual, he doesn't go insane. He doesn't go insane, his manor never falls into disrepair, and just like that, the so-called ruined present has ceased to exist. Instead, we now have a bustling manor, full of servants, who will scream for help. That is, if we show ourselves to them. We're not going to do that. At least we're going to avoid trying to do so. There really isn't much of anyone to answer that call, but I'd rather avoid the fuss. There's nothing to loot here in the backyard, so let's head back into the manor proper and start wrapping this thing up. Let's see, yeah, here's the hallway. You may remember that I commented we wouldn't really need Stilton's door code. After the events of that night, Stilton sealed off that part of the mansion and barred the door. The key he had for entering no longer exists, but now we can simply break the planks to gain access.
The past is seeping into the present, or vice versa.
Something timey-wimey.
It's time to begin. Where's Stilton? I should never have kept him on just because he and my father were close.
There's another one of your hints about the relationship between Stilton and the old Duke.
It's beyond my understanding, and certainly beyond yours. If anyone has any doubts, set them aside now.
This defies rational.
I don't know why I'm crouching.
It's the frayed edge where natural.
This is basically a
crosses
cutscene.
over into something else.
Yes, I can feel it. We risk madness.
Interesting that this more or less implies that Hypatia was very long gone into the Crown Kill role 3 years ago.
Than before. The Duke and I have heard her voice whispering to us, and now it's time. So take your positions. You can feel her power, can't you?
By the stars. This is more exciting than any orgy I've ever attended.
I can count the number of Let's Players who don't laugh at that line on one hand.
Here, returned from the cold.
Ah, here's that other stun mine. Knew there was another one in here that just wouldn't show up until long after it was useful.
How curious. It seems to have worked.
My spirit is safe now, inside this thing.
Okay,
Luca,
we have our quest
you
update.
must lock it away. Wait. You are hidden, but I know who you are. I know when you are. You've come to watch me return, and someday I'll come for you.
It's not going to end well for you. Okay, with our quest update done, we are ready to get the hell out of here. Oh yes, so the code no longer works, but fortunately we have a button to open it. Okay, I think I recall there being possibly one more guard down here who has a sleep dart in him, maybe? Yeah, there's one. Okay, how am I on those? Oh, I'm full. Excellent. That is beautiful. Okay, now it is time to loot the altered present. Let's see. For the most part, it's just going to be a bunch of coins and stuff. Knocking Stilton out and giving the present a makeover has much wider-reaching consequences than it might appear at first, and some of them are directly relevant to this run and its rule set. Changing the past like this is actually the only way to get all collectibles because some of them only appear here in the altered present. If we bring out the heart, you can see we have a new bone charm available, and now there are also quite a few other bits and pieces around the manor that I want to grab before we go. Mostly just coins and stuff, but hey, it's stuff. Falling Star. That's not great. We have this letter here from the architecture team telling them that they have finished renovations on this part of the manor that did not exist before. You may have noticed that this is brand new. was that proposed renovation that never happened in the room present, but now it has some goodies for us. Try not to spend too much time in any one area because I don't want to spend a lot of time popping back and forth using the timepiece. And the servants get understandably cross at strangers wandering around the mansion lifting shit. I believe there's not actually anything in that bathroom at all.
Hello?
Nobody here. Just rats. Times like this, I really wish I had dark vision objects. More coins and bullets. I'm full on those now. Metal in here. Doesn't look like. Hi, excuse me.
I heard something. I hope it's not a rat.
Nope, 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 all good. Coins here. No money on the nicely folded laundry. There's someone down there doing work, but we can just leave her alone. Okay. Let's quickly make our way out of here. Oh, hi, excuse me. Sorry.
Hey, aren't you working another exit?
Okay, these two guys will absolutely go hostile. Big chunky musclehead workers are about the only ones who will actually attack you rather than just running and calling for help. Ah, good. Some coins there. I believe there's a few more workers in here. Not strictly necessary, I'd just rather not have them be a potential threat while I'm running around. Mostly just some scattered coins, looks like. I remember there being a little bit more. Something in here? Yeah, okay. That. Okay, and then finally, let's check the upstairs. And for the third time, we will rob this room and it's safe. Anything else?
Be on your way, now.
Nope, you can sleep. My apologies to Stilton's servants. Can't have you creating that fuss. There. That. Ah. And last but not least, this little side room up here. Coins, anything in the bathroom? Nope. Right. Coins on that, and a pouch. Nice. Okay. Ladies and gents, I think we are just about ready to head out. Nothing over here, right? Okay, good. Before we go, I want to take a few minutes to fix my bone charms. First, let's put back on all of the mana charms that I had taken off. That's Void Favor. Spirit Water, of course. Expansive Spirits. None of those are particularly useful. Okay. Now let's sacrifice a few of the charms that we don't need anymore. In the beginning of the mission, I sacrificed a few mana-related charms that we wouldn't need for now, but they were just basic charms, and now I can craft them in much better versions. Let's see, that's going to be Spirited. I also want to 4x Spiritual Pool, so that my mana comes back faster. Okay. And we'll equip one of those in the empty slot there. Then, let's see. Do I actually need lightweight at the moment? I don't think I really do. Swap that in there. And I think it's probably about time to 4x Electrical Burst as well. All right. We got Witch's Skin, Hardiness, Expansive Spirit, and all of our mana, tool, and movement charms are good. Excellent. And with all that done, let us take our leave of Stilton's Manor for the last time. We're almost done here, but first, we're going to drop in and say hi to the Outsider. He wants to explain a bit more about why he's so keen to see Delilah taken down a peg, and he's going to give us some extremely juicy lore so that we'll pay attention.
Look around you. A crumbling island at the very edges of the void. But this one is special. It's the place where my throat was cut 4,000 years ago. This is where my life ended. And where it began again. It's where they made me. Right up until the end, I thought I'd find a way to escape. I fought, but the rooms only cut my skin, so I went limp. And then the knife touched my throat, and I knew I'd waited too long. The blood ran out, and I became a god. Now you know Delilah's secret. She found this place, the island in the void where I became what I am. It changed her, and she discovered a way to draw from it, tapping into the power here. Delilah is a part of me now, and I don't like it. You're going to have to find her spirit and give it back to her. Reaching it won't be easy, but what comes after that might be the hardest thing you will ever have to do.
And what sage words can Corvo muster in the face of these stunning revelations?
The world is full of secrets.
Thanks, Corvo. Maybe stick to what you're good at, choking out fools and losing empresses.
All right, back to the skiff. Sokolov should be waiting.
Indeed. First, let me set my hotkeys back up now that I have my powers back. Fortunately, I only have 2 powers, so that's quite easy. And then, before we head out, let's take a look at the new improved Dust District.
Down floor 4. Did Marco say?
Apparently the family committee made a request. Too much dust was pissing down.
At least Stilton listens to them. More than they can say for the Grand Guard.
Yeah, the Duke is rotten and it spreads out from there. But Airman Stilton is a good man.
I'll tell him you said that. He drinks at my brother's pub.
He knows we appreciate him. Karnaca has problems, but it could be a lot worse here in this district.
You may not recognize her if you haven't read the lore or paused during the screens where I did so, but this is another person without whom the Dust District would be in a much worse place.
Lucia Pastor, right? You deserve thanks for helping the people here.
Considering who you are, I don't know whether to feel honored that you recognize me or to yell at you for propping up the Duke while he's shitting all over Serkonos.
And who do you think I am?
I'm not stupid. Whether the newspapers and the posters in the street are right or wrong, I know who you are. And I hope you're here to end Luca Abella's tyranny. Either way, we haven't been sitting around waiting for you to clean up your mess.
Sounds like you have a plan.
No, nothing that solid. Not yet. But I believe the Duke will fall, eventually. All I can say is that when you reach the Grand Palace, just be aware that not everyone there is your enemy. Trust your judgment.
All right. I'll remember that.
Anyway, good luck. There's still a chance to make something new here in Karnaca. Something that serves everyone, not just some rapacious bastard with a title.
The Dust District appreciates you, Lucia, and I, for one, appreciate that you have a bone charm for me. So let's see what it is. Oh. Yes. Happy, happy day. Oh my goodness. Okay. So you know how I was complaining last episode about how underwhelming the bone charms had been so far in Stilton's mansion? I take every word of that back. Every single word. Strong arms, you choke enemies unconscious slightly faster. And of course, multiplied by 4, slightly becomes significantly. If you haven't seen this in action, you are in for a treat. Magnificent. Now, the tough question is, what am I going to swap out for it? Let's see. Yeah, just about everything here is essential except for electrical burst. I can probably do without the extra range. This will serve me much, much better. Oh my goodness. Oh, that makes me so damn happy right now. I cannot even tell you. Holy shit. Okay. Now we've got a few other collectibles that simply would not exist had we not knocked out Stilton, including a rune. I'll take a replacement sleep dart. Let's see, yep, turned around there. And I believe there's a charm up here. Let's see what it is. Oh, Undertaker. Well, that's fantastic. Holy hell. Okay. So Undertaker is another one of those movement charms, and it's actually quite insane. You know what, I'm not sure what I'll swap out for it, but I've got to do something with it. It's going to use up every last whalebone, but I don't care. Not at all. Damn, I'm almost shaking right now. I'm so excited. These are some good charms. Really good charms. Oh my goodness. Okay. All right, what to swap out? Actually, I can probably do without the slightly more mana for the moment. As I am full on potions, having no difficulty finding taps or anything like that to replenish myself. And you saw how fast my mana just came back right there. Yeah. If I was going to get rid of either of those charms, it would be that one.
What's her name again?
Lucia Pastor. She's supposed to talk to Stilton soon about new safety rules for the mines. Fewer hours for the children working down there, too.
Children. Charming.
Maybe no one will even notice, but things have changed here for the better.
Indeed. And we have one last charm. Lucky Gem. That's okay. If there's anything else up here. But the district is not the only thing that has significantly changed as a result of our actions.
You're back. That was quick.
So to speak. Might say I had all the time in the world.
Are you ready to leave? The dust is wreaking havoc on my throat.
More than ready, my friend.
Yes.
More than ready.
I found a way to get around Paolo and Byrne, and I've been to Stilton's house. Let's go.
Excellent, excellent. Absolutely no kills. That's how I like to see it. Lots of bodies detected, of course, but as usual, don't really care too much about that. And we've got all the collectibles and damn near most of the coins. Only missed about 400 of them. That's great. And finally, we have a whole mess of special actions in this mission. We stole the master key while hiding under the dining room table. We busted through the planks on the door in the altar present to get to the study without the door code. We saved Aramis Stilton's mind, thereby making that possible. We took out the rune in the flooded basement, collapsed the balcony, because apparently that was something that was so notable they had to make a special action out of it. And finally, we took a look at our handiwork in the altar present and visited Aramis Stilton's office, which also would not exist if not for our actions. With all that done, I'd say that is a damn good day's work, so let's take a look at what's next.
Duke Luca Abel tore down the original palace in Karnaca, where his father once pinned a medal to my chest. Over the ruins, the Duke built a structure that cost enough to feed everyone in Serkonos for years. A sprawling estate to humble all others, a monument to his ego. I owe it to the people of my homeland to make this right. In Dunwall, we were content to look the other way as long as the silver kept flowing. I've got to get inside the Grand Palace, deal with the Duke, and find a way to steal Delilah's soul.
Can you feel it? This is my last night. Soon, I'll dissolve into the great nothing.
You deserve peace, my love.
I've stayed too long. Find Delilah's spirit. Trap her with this cage of dead flesh. Set me free.
I don't understand.
You will, very soon.
Bit slow there, Corvo. I think most of us had figured it out by this point. That's all right. Confer with your allies, the quest says. Yes, we shall do exactly that. I don't believe that there is much of anything, if anything at all, to get on the dreadful whale at this time.
Sucking the marrow out of the same people who built it.
Yes, I regret my affiliation with the young Duke, but his father and I were close. It was my hope that Luca would eventually grow up and learn that his actions as ruler of Serkonos have very real consequences.
He could always count on the backing of Dunwall's finances and navy. Maybe without that, he would have developed a healthy respect for the people of Serkonos. Fear of the Executioner's block has been a fine motivator for many a ruler.
Once the Duke falls, it's my hope that we can build something better here. Something more representative and inclusive.
Are you ready for this?
I've broken into palaces before. They're made to keep out armies. Stopping a single man who's dedicated to his cause, that's another story altogether.
Getting inside might not be the hard part. The Duke doesn't exactly run a tight ship.
Taking down Duke Abel is only part of the puzzle. You've also got to find whatever it is he's keeping for Delilah.
You were cryptic about what you gleaned from visiting the Dust District, which is fine. The world is better with a hint of mystery. But once you're inside the Grand Palace, whatever you do could affect things in Karnaca for years to come. Remember that.
I've got a map of the Grand Palace for you, and I know something that may be useful. There's a hidden lever in the pantry that opens a passage to the Duke's vault. If he's keeping anything precious for Delilah, I suspect that's where it'll be. Beyond that, good hunting.
I'll see what I can do. I know things in Karnaca are fragile. Emily and I have a lot to think about after all this is done.
Excellent. We'll take that map, thank you.
I hope I've been of some help to you. It's good to feel useful here near the end of my time.
Hey, you've done your part, Anton. You've done your part. What about you, Aramis? How are you feeling in this timeline?
It's not widely known, but the Duke has a body double. The man is the spitting image of Luca.
Thank you.
A likable fellow and quite humble.
All right. We will most definitely keep that in mind. And of course, he would not have been there and giving his contributions had we not saved him. Although, interestingly, the way it is written, it plays out precisely, exactly word for word the same, just without his presence and his contributions if you don't. The conversation is very carefully crafted so it is not dependent on what he's saying. He just interjects. Very well done. And of course, Megan as well seems to have regained a few things that she lost before. Now, she lost her eye and her arm previously, and now she's mentioned this in some of the lore, but she lost them the night when she went to find Stilton, that very same night when he disappeared. She tried to get in, the Grand Guard stopped her, and, well, she defended herself, and it cost her. But with that no longer occurring in this timeline, she has not lost those parts of her body, so she has gained something and will never know the difference. At least not until Death of the Outsider. Anyway, let's talk to her and head on out.
At the palace, the Duke has a look-alike body double, meant to confuse assassins. A friend of mine washes the linens and said the double is a smoker, if that helps. Maybe you can talk to him. She says he's a nice guy. What a shitty job, pretending to be a tyrant like Duke Luca Abel.
Why don't they just overthrow him?
He's got an army, control of the mines, and he's had your support from the capital. At the Duke's parties, people carve up the country while eating boiled crab.
There were parties like that in Dunwall. Toadies sucking up to Emily made me want to be back on the streets in Serkonos.
You're forgetting what that's like. I watched those party lights from the roof of the abandoned butcher shop where I slept. In the flooded district.
I know you struggled. After years of court, I'm a nobody again. But what I've seen here will stay with me when I return to Dunwall Tower. Being in Karnaca again has given me perspective.
Good. After you've eliminated the Duke, find what he's holding for Delilah and take it. When you're finished, I'll pick you up in the skiff.
Sounds like an excellent plan to me. All right. Let's take a look at what we've got in the immediate area here. Some whalebone, and I just a little thing back here. Yeah, just some scales. But all right, let's quickly take stock of where we're at. We've got 5 runes to spend, and I think it is about time that we invested in a few other things that I've been looking at for a while. Got that fully maxed out. However, I would like the freeze time in Blink. That comes in very handy on more than one occasion. And with the last 2 runes, I think it's finally about time to get Dark Vision. I won't be using it a whole lot, especially not until I get the objects version of it, but there are times when it'll be quite useful. I think that about does it for runes, and where am I going to put that? Yeah, put that on 2 like I usually have it. The thing I had there is mostly a placeholder for my usual habits. I get very used to what keys I have, what things on, or what types of things. All right.
Stuff comes in. It's got to get where it's going. That's why they call it the black market. Can't just sit here. Too much chance a Grand Guard catches on to us, or maybe rightful owners coming to pick it up.
What's the delay getting it to the shop? Bet you afraid we'll get caught?
The guy that runs the shop is nervous. But if they just let us move it straight off the boat. Now, I got a friend over at the shop. Been running protection for black market shops for years here in Karnaca and over at Colorado. So there's basically no risk.
What's your friend's name?
That's a secret. These guys deal with me and nobody else. Job security.
There we go. This is what I wanted. Oh, look at that choke. Look at that. Almost instant. Amazing. Let's grab a handful of things out of here. And unfortunately, we cannot get into this boat quite yet. It's all locked up. We need the delivery boat key, and the person who has it is not here. But anyway, before we get too far into this mission, I think that's a good stopping point for now. We have a Duke to depose, and we need someone who could step into his shoes, so we'll take care of all of that next time. I hope you enjoyed this episode. If you haven't already done so, please do all the usual YouTube stuff, like and subscribe, drop a comment below, and check out the links in the description for other content creators you might enjoy. Thank you very much for watching, and have a great rest of your day.